Right, hello. Uh, I'm going to try and talk to you a bit today about modeling techniques. Now, ideally, you might have a scalpel, okay? Be careful, these are quite sharp, okay? Now, you could have a pair of scissors, and again, a pair of scissors can work just as well. Um, Obviously, you're going to need some card, and again, cereal packets work really well for this. A really nice grey card or cardboard. I like to use a variation of card so that I can model on. I can put my models on a surface to show variation of tone and variation of idea. Okay, so let's get started then. So let's talk about cutting. Now, a lot of people when they start cutting is they might have a cutting mat. Now, if you've got a cutting mat, you'll notice that around the edge, you've got loads and loads of centimeters, and they can help you with sizing. Okay, so let's have a little look here. Let's say I want to make a 10, a 5 by 5 square. I can use my actual uh, board as a basis. Okay, so again, I'm using the edge of my board as a guide. Okay, so perfect like so. Okay, now all I've done is I haven't even measured that, but I know when I take that to my ruler, okay, that's going to fit nicely in there. Okay, so that's one little tip. The next thing though is that if I was to say I wanted to make two edges to fit together, okay, what I might do is instead of obviously having two separate parts like so, what I might do is I might just score it. Yeah, so I'm going to score it right down the center, and I'm going to put score. Now a score is obviously half a cut, or I call it a kiss cut. So it just kisses the surface. So you're not going all the way through. What you're doing is you're making a little bend. Okay, now that is a really nice tight edge. So often then I can then obviously start to build up different shapes. So what I would do is I would start to do a range of shapes like this. Okay, so I'd have a range of different sizes. I'd cut them out, and then I'd think about folds. So again, if I wanted to, I'm going to cut that, make sure that comes out a bit. Put a bit more pressure on here, and again, put a bit more pressure on here, and that's going to come away nicely. Okay, so again here, let's say I wanted more than one fold. I'm going to have a little score. I'm going to have another score. And I'm going to have another score here. Okay, now by doing that, I can then obviously fold my shape. And again, I can make multiple shapes. Okay, so let's say I wanted to, add those together. Now, what a lot of people might do is they might say, right, I'm going to stick some tape across there. Now, ideally, I would use a glue gun. So I put glue under here. But again, you can do the same thing with scissors. So you cut this out, and you can also score with scissors. Yeah, so let's just talk a little bit about scoring with scissors. So again, it's the same process, but be careful though. You can place your ruler over the top, okay, and you can just score and score. Again, it's not as good, but it will create a very similar, a similar thing. Okay, so for this, I would normally use a glue gun, but I'm just going to use a bit of tape, and I could be quite neat with my tape if I wanted to. So I could just, take that off so it's a bit smaller, and then what I would do is I would take my tape and I would place the tape in the inside. Okay, so in the inside, we're not going on the outside now. Okay, we're going on the inside. So again, you can see I've got my tape, and then the idea is I can then wrap that around, okay, and then I can then fold that together. And what I get is a nice edge. Okay, so you don't need to have tape all over the top. So I'm starting to get my shapes together now. All right, so I might have something like this. Let's take another square. So again, using my ruler. Okay, so these are just Brutalist shapes, more blockish. These are just blockish shapes. Blockish shapes. Okay. So again, I'm going to take another one, and I'm going to fold that. Now, what I would start doing is I would start building up a frame-like structure. Okay. So again, I'm going to take I'm going to take a bit of card this time, to do a cardboard, just to show variation of colour. So you want to sort of switch between the different bits of card to show variation of colour. So that's fine. Bit folded there. Tell you what, I might even have, doesn't have to be square, I might even have an angular bit of space. So again, what I'm now going to start to do is, obviously I can start playing around with my parts that I've started to cut out. Yeah. So I would obviously use a glue gun for this. And you know, ideally, but we could get away with a bit of Pritt stick. Pritt stick's not great again, but it will slightly work. But what you could do is, if you don't have a glue gun, again, I could just take my fold, place that over the top, and then have it stuck. Again, it's always about the inside. Okay, by sticking it in the inside, you can't see it. Yeah, you don't want it on the outside. So again, a little bit of tape in the inside. So I'm trying to use basic materials here. So a bit of tape, masking tape, or you could use sellotape. I'm using masking tape for this because it's slightly easier. But again, you know, bit of tape in the inside. PVA is better than a Pritt stick. PVA is definitely better for this. PVA was, if you were a model maker, is what you would normally use as a basis. But again, I'm just using the tape as a basis there. Okay, so again, you know, I'm starting to get a model. I'm starting to get shapes. You know, I'm starting to get ideas. What I might start to do is obviously then start putting in a roof. Well, again, you know, I just cut that little piece. I might have a roof bit that comes across here. Okay, starting to show you, you know, how that might start to become some type of structure. But again, this is more sort of a straight lined approach. So you can see how I built up similar techniques, you know, different parts, layering up the different sections like so, and then obviously adding a roof over the top.